Aaron Wood says he was surprised at the adversarial and almost combative approach taken by the Veteran Affairs Minister Ron Mark in that December speech. National claims that the Minister has crossed a line, but as you heard, Ron Mark denies that and says that the excerpts of his speech have been taken out of context. No Duff's Aaron Wood was name-checked in the Minister's speech, and Mr Wood says the whole speech was at odds with the tone of the event.
When he delivered a speech, obviously that was a bit surprising to us. That was not what we were sort of expecting. We weren't actually expecting anything, to be perfectly honest. I mean, he'd asked to make a speech through his people, and that was fine. That was a little surprising.
Surprising in what way?
Well, I mean, we're an apolitical organisation. We've been very clear about that from day one. I mean, the Minister is the third Minister of veterans that full veterans that we've seen in our first 2 years of existence. We're now just into our our fourth year. And again, sort of the lack of contact between us. So, like I said, we've only spoken to him 4 times, and one of those times was 20 years ago in East Timor. So we've only met him once at his office in Parliament last year at his invitation. So we haven't had a lot of dialogue, and his public comments about No Duff have been very positive and supportive, extremely positive and supportive. So this wasn't that. The theme and the tone surprised us. But to be perfectly honest, as I've said, publicly, it's not what we expected from a Minister of the Crown.
What kind of tone? How did you interpret the tone?
It's really hard to put my finger on it, Lisa, to be perfectly honest, because it was almost combative, almost adversarial, but there's nothing that I'm aware of to be adversarial combative about. So, like I said, we've had very little contact with him. So, we haven't been in the public eye or in the media sort of poking him or prodding him or saying he hasn't done a good job. And, so I really don't know.
What did you make of the fact he mentioned you by name? He said if the Defence Force family and everybody, Aaron and everybody else in the Defence Force threw us their party vote, would probably be at 15 or 16%. What did you think when he mentioned your name in that context?
That was surreal. I sort of wondered how I was responsible for such a huge burden of the political landscape by myself. But
what did you think he was asking you for, if anything? What was the message he was giving you at that point?
I honestly don't know. It was like I said. The whole tone and theme was surprising to begin with, and then that comment alone just had me completely bemused. I was thinking this was part of some wider point he was going to make, or some such, that it would lead into something, like there was almost a punchline coming, but it just didn't. It just rang. It was out of sync, I thought, with what the rest of the day was about, what had been briefed, etc. So, yeah.
Did you feel? Sorry to interrupt, Aaron, but did you feel that he was canvassing for votes, support?
I actually didn't, because I thought I didn't see how that could possibly be. It was almost like you couldn't believe your ears. It's like, no, he can't be doing that. He can't be canvassing for votes, surely, because I mean there are a number of recording devices in the room. His own people were recording the speech. And I thought, well, that can't be what he can be. He wouldn't be doing that, surely. That's not what he's doing. I mean, it was too obvious. So that's why I thought, like I said previously, I thought there was some sort of, he was building to something. I thought what he was trying to do was bind the veterans community together, make a sort of pitch for the greater good. But like I said, it just didn't, there was no punchline. It didn't follow through with that. So like I said, I was bemused. I was like, well, I didn't really see where that went. It was surreal, yeah.
Bottom line, did you feel the comments that he made were appropriate for the venue time that he made them?
I felt, if anything, he possibly lacked the context of what we were trying to do. Even though I'd sent him an official invitation as the Minister for Veterans, and I explained it and outlined in the invitation what we were doing, why we were doing it. There was a program in there. It's the same invitation that went out to everyone else, obviously with his name attached. I felt that maybe he had misjudged what the day was about, and yeah, he basically prepared he delivered a speech based on what he thought it was going to be, and it wasn't at all.
And that's Aaron Wood. He is from the charity No Duff, and that's an organisation which helps out veterans.